Hi, so it's Ross from Moshville Times here with Kris Barras at Steelhouse in 2023. How's it going?
Yeah, good mate. All good.
You're headlining tonight. How are you feeling about it?
Great. It's a massive honour. It's such a fantastic lineup. We've Airborne and Black Sun Cherry headlining the other days, and we played here back in 2021. It was one of the first gigs coming out of COVID, and we had like an afternoon slot. It was wet and windy, but we had the best time, and to get invited back to headline the opening night for us, it's a dream come true.
Yeah, because it's a great festival as well, isn't it?
Amazing, yeah.
So are you approaching this to any differently to any other shows?
I always think there's a little bit more, dare I say, pressure. I don't know. I mean, maybe a little bit of pressure like when you're headlining, but I like pressure. So yeah, to me a show's a show. Like I give 110% whether I'm playing in a pub or on a big stage. So I just love playing, and a festival like this where it always has such a great atmosphere and a great crowd. I know it's going to be a good night. So.
And obviously post-lockdown it's been pretty crazy for you guys in the band. Is it possible to even pick a highlight?
Yeah, probably not, to be honest. Like it's been a wild ride, coming out of the COVID stuff. We had a new album, it's a lot heavier than stuff we've done before, and people have really embraced the new direction, and we've got a lot of new fans because of it, playing good slots at like Download Festival and things like that, and had 2 successful tours off the back of that album as well. Getting to headline a bunch of festivals this year as well it's been great. It's been a great ride, and we've been preparing for the next album now, so 3 weeks time we're heading back into the studio to get that recorded.
You're probably sick to death getting answered this, but how does an ex-MMA fighter switch to playing in a band?
Well, I started like martial arts when I was young, and I also started music similar age, like five years old. I started karate and then started playing guitar at the same age. So the kind of martial arts have always been part of my life. For me, music took a back seat for most of my adult life. I was always playing, but it was just kind of in the background because I was just getting more opportunities with the fighting stuff. Then when I retired from actually fighting, I was training other fighters and stuff, but I kind of needed an outlet, and I started writing some songs to set up a band just to try and get out and do a few little festivals, a few things like that. It was never in my plan to get to do things like this today. And once the music stuff started snowballing and things like took off, it got to the point where I had to step away from the fight game and particularly the coaching side of things I was doing at that time. And it's been great. I've been very fortunate to be able to make a career out of 2 things that I love.
So does the adrenaline flow in the same way performing on stage as it does on a fight? I
think so, yeah. You get very, very similar feelings beforehand. Obviously, performing live in a band, you haven't got to worry about getting your head kicked in, which is always nice thing. I haven't really got to worry about injuries. But it is similar. Your body getting ready for, something, those feelings that you get beforehand, like the fight or flight response. It's very, very similar for both.
So as a guitarist, who are your influences?
Yeah, lots of people over the years. Gary Moore was like my first guitar hero. And then, moved on to, got more into like the metal stuff in my teens, more of the shreddy guys, discovered people like Steve Vai, Paul Gilbert, Joe Satriani, Malmsteen, those kind of people. Richie Kotzon's one of my all-time faves, both vocalist and guitar player. I've liked lots of different players for lots of different reasons, really.
So what came first, the guitar or the singing?
Oh, guitar playing, definitely. I didn't start singing until I was probably about 15, 16 years old. And even then it took a bit of a while for me to get to grips with it. I mean, I'm still trying to get to grips with it now, really. Having lessons and always trying to improve.
So you're playing with Fozzy next month. Will you and Chris Jericho be swapping fitness tips?
Yeah, I might see if he wants to have a little wrestle. No. Yeah, obviously he's an absolute legend. It's going to be great to, hopefully I get to meet him. You never know how these kind of gigs go. But yeah, absolute legend. So yes, it should be a good gig, that one.
Yeah, absolutely. So, given you and the band have been around for a while now, what are some of your favourite new bands?
These days, I'm listening to a lot of heavier stuff. Quite like Bad Omens at the moment. They're obviously taking the world by storm in the metalcore kind of world. UK band called Holding Absence, doing like great things. Yeah, guys like that at the minute. I suppose heavier, more in the metal world than the rock world.
And 2023 has been just an insane year for albums. What's been your personal favourite so far?
I'm really sure I listen to albums, to be honest. I'm a victim of the modern world. Artists. As an artist, you hate it, but as a consumer, it's obviously an amazing thing. Like Spotify, I tend to just I'm very much stereotypical 2023 consumer. I listen to a lot of singles rather than albums. I don't know. I can't put my finger on. Yeah, I haven't got one.
Yeah, sure. So a fun one to end. What's your one festival essential?
Sorry, say that one again.
Just a fun one to end the interview. What's your one festival essential?
Well, if you're doing Steelhouse, it's definitely wellies. I don't know if I have one really. If it's a sunny festival, I like to have some beers. I do love a beer in the sun. I can get suckered into that pretty quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, wellies if it's wet, beers if it's sunny. There you go.
That's perfect. Best of both worlds then, isn't it? Well, thank you very much.
Top man. Cheers, bud.